The sun has returned to Blue Sage. I love the blue skies and the way the sun streams in to the breakfast nook in the morning. It makes my heart happy and I'm ready to start the day. The first signs of spring are springing up, and that means it's time to start cleaning up winter's mess in the backyard. I try to keep up with the debris, the leaves, and all the grass every couple of days. But this time of year, it's time to start thinking about wiping down all the porch furniture, lifting the grill covers and mats underneath there, and putting things back out into the yard. The days are getting nice enough now that I'm able to put out the clothes drying rack into the yard. I love hanging things outside and letting them dry in the sun. The first days getting back out into the yard are some of my favorites. There's just so much excitement in the anticipation of spring. The temperatures were not very warm, but where we live, when the sun shines, you can work outside and it feels great. I had to do the first weed trimming of the year already, so I'm putting the furniture back around the fire pit. We have quite a number of projects we want to accomplish this spring. The garden boxes in the front, I want to add a new layer of dirt. It's kind of getting compacted, and as I've taken out roots and things from the previous year, we lose a little. I do the Mills mix from Square Foot Gardener. So I've ordered my peat, my vermiculite, then I'll get the compost. And this year you can see the garden boxes in the back, but we've added these metal powder coated raised beds as well. They'll take quite a bit of dirt to fill up. I had some cloth bins that I used this year for potatoes. I have mixed feelings about it. The potatoes that I grew in the regular boxes produced quite a large harvest, and it was a much smaller harvest in the bins. They were great for depth, but they don't hold water as well, so they required a lot of watering. I've added some of those raised beds to do some of my deep crops like carrots and potatoes this year. I also tested two theories this year. My garden boxes, I harvested all the potatoes, washed them, and stored them away in the house. But I read that where we live, you can leave potatoes over winter in the ground, since it really won't freeze. These potatoes did seem to do fine there, but like I said, it was just a much smaller harvest in the bins. But I'm excited to have a baby potatoes later today. I I do have the soil from these bins to add to the taller powder-coated metal raised beds that I've added, and that'll go a nice way toward filling them up. Good soil is so important. It helps with pulling weeds. It helps with your crop growth. Using the Mel's Mix, it's equal parts peat, vermiculite, and compost. I like to add a mixture of chicken, cow, and mushroom compost into my beds. The seed potatoes I ordered last spring, and I got them from Azure Standard. I started ordering from Azure last year, and I've been really happy with everything that I've gotten from them. I think I'll do the same this year for my seed potatoes. I also got a catalog from High Mowing Seeds, and I've heard really good things about that company as well. This bin's harvest was fairly small, but there was a nice mixture of small baby potatoes that were regular, red, and purple, and it will make a really pretty dish. As much as I enjoy working outside, I'm happy that I've reached the bottom of this bin. And it feels good to stand up and call it. There's just no way you can work out in the yard without taking some time out to play with our German Shepherd Zirta. She gets so frisky when you're out in the yard with her, and she loves to be outside. She makes her circuit, her little obstacle course, and she just loves it if you act like you're going to chase her. Back inside, it's time to clean up those potatoes and get the kitchen cleaned up. Washing dishes is often one of the least favorite chores for many people. It's not my least favorite. Mine is something else. I really don't mind washing dishes. It took me a while to clean the potatoes off really well, get the bins washed out. They were pretty dirty. Now that those are situated, it's time to really clean the kitchen. I like to wipe everything down and just make sure it's ready before I start cooking dinner. That sounds silly, doesn't it? Clean the kitchen before you cook in the kitchen so you can clean the kitchen again. But I work best in a well-organized space, and I feel that I'm the most efficient when everything's cleaned up when I begin. Some quiet work in the kitchen really kicks off the afternoon right for me. I have my own business and work from home. Being able to step away from my desk and all the tasks and just quietly work in the solitude and the peace, especially after going outside, it just gives me a nice reset. And I'll be ready for the afternoon when my husband finishes work. And it's time to transition into cooking dinner and spending the evening with him. Our little Juju gets up in the background. She always lays there when I'm working in the kitchen, and she'll come in to see me. She's a wonderful companion, and she's always interested in what's going on in the kitchen. It feels good to have the kitchen back in order. After I finish, I always reward myself with an afternoon cup of coffee.